Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a small but crucial grammar rule that makes a big difference in your communication, knowing when to use who versus which. It might seem like a tiny detail, but trust me, getting this right really elevates how clear and professional you sound.
Okay, let's just dive right in with something you've probably heard before. Which of these just sounds better to you? The man which built the house or the man who built the house? One of them just feels right, doesn't it? And today, we're going to find out exactly why.
So, to figure out why one of those just clicks, we need to look at the basic building blocks we're working with here. It all comes down to one specific type of word.
And here it is. We're talking about something called a relative pronoun. Now, don't let the fancy name throw you off. Just think of these words as little connectors. Their entire job is to hook an extra piece of information onto a person or a thing we just mentioned, making the whole sentence flow together. So how do we choose the right connector? Well, it really just boils down to one simple golden rule. Seriously, if you remember this, you're going to get it right almost every single time.
And here's the rule in all its beautiful simplicity. We use who when we're talking about people. And we use which for pretty much everything else, for things, objects, ideas. People get who, stuff gets which. It's really that straightforward.
What's really happening here is these words become the star of that little descriptive phrase. So in a sentence like, I like people who smile a lot, the word who is the one actually doing the smiling. It's the subject.
All right, theory's great, but let's see how this rule actually plays out in the real world. We're going to pull some examples from grammar guides, from best-selling books, you name it, just to see it in action. Here's a perfect classic example. The tall man, he's a person obviously, so the sentence correctly uses who to add that extra detail. He's the one that just came in. See? Simple and clean. And check this out. Even in a much more complex sentence, the rule holds strong. Who points right back to that group of people, the judges, jurors, and other decision-makers, and connects them to what they do. You also see this constantly in professional and business writing. This sentence identifies a group, specialists, and then, bam, it uses who to tell you precisely which specialists we're talking about. And hey, it's not just for formal stuff. Even in more modern, casual writing, the rule is exactly the same. The sentence is talking about mentors, people, so of course it uses who to describe what they're up to. It works across every style of writing. Now, you know how it is with English. For just about every rule, there's a little bit of a gray area. So let's explore those moments where the lines can get a little bit fuzzy.
So, what happens when we're not talking about a thing, but we're also not talking about a human? Yeah, I'm talking about animals, especially the pets we think of as part of the family.
And here's the cool part. The rule actually relaxes a bit for animals we see as individuals. Because we give them names, we see their personalities, it becomes totally acceptable and natural to use who. The dog isn't just a thing, he's a being who sleeps in her bed.
Your level of formality also really changes your word choice. In super formal, maybe old-fashioned writing, you might still see it was she who. But let's be honest, in casual everyday speech, you're way more likely to hear it was her that.
And that brings us to the word that. You will absolutely hear the people that live next door all the time. It's not necessarily wrong, but it is definitely seen as more informal. So if you want your writing to feel just a little more polished, sticking with who for people is usually your best bet.
So after all this, why does this little distinction even matter? I mean, is this just about being a grammar nerd, or is there actually a bigger reason to get it right?
Oh, it is absolutely about more than just following the rules. Getting this right just makes your communication sharper. It signals to your audience that you pay attention to the details. And on a subtler level, it shows a kind of respect. You're distinguishing between the humanity of a person and the status of an object.
When it comes right down to it, the benefits are clear. You get more clarity, and you boost your credibility. You just sound more professional, your sentences flow better, and maybe most importantly, you add this layer of respect by acknowledging the people you're writing about as people.
You know, this is one of those fantastic little rules that once you learn it, you just can't unsee it. You're going to start noticing it everywhere. In books, in articles, in emails from your boss. It is such a small change that makes a huge impact. So now that you know, where do you think you're going to spot it first?